of our one-year Bible read. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're going to be reading from March 24th because we're 2 days early, correct? Because we started 2 days early. And thank you for joining us on our 84th day in a row. I finally done something more times than the amount of push-ups I can do consecutively. You feel me? So now we're technically we broke our record. We technically broke records tonight. So I just want to clap it up for myself for breaking the record. I broke a record today. Let's go, chat. Let's go. And we're also in a new chapter tonight, chat. We're in Deuteronomy. We're breaking into Deuteronomy tonight. So our first part of tonight's read is going to come from Deuteronomy 2:1 through 3, and then go verse 29. Hey, what's up? What's up, Skip? How you doing? What's up? What do I need to guess? And now we're going to read. We're also going to read it from Luke 6:12 to 38, following up with Psalm 67 1 through 7, and then wrapping up our read tonight with Proverbs 11:27. Hey, appreciate the like on stream. I know what you Skip, so I appreciate that, Skip. And while you tell me what you need to tell me the background, I'm gonna go ahead and get into tonight's read. So starting from Deuteronomy 2:1 through 3, and then on verse 29. I don't know how that math works, but it doesn't matter. Guess. I'm going to guess uh you got $10,000 randomly for no reason. That's my guess. Am I right? If I am right, that's wild. But I'm still happy for you. But Deuteronomy 2:1 through 3, and then go verse 29. That's pretty funny. Hey, I hope it happens for you though. You feel me? So then we turned around and headed back across the wilderness toward the Red Sea. Just as the Lord had instructed me, and we wandered around in the region of Mount Seir for a long time. Then at last the Lord said to me, "You have been wandering around in this hill country long enough. Turn to the north and give these orders to the people." Hey, what color did you dye it? What color did you dye it? Orders to the people. You will pass through the country belonging to your relatives, the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. The Edomites will feel threatened, so be careful. Do not bother them, for I have given them all the hill country around Mount Seir as their property. And I will not give you even 1 square foot of their land. If you need food to eat or water to drink, pay them for it. For the Lord your God has blessed you in everything you have done. He has watched your every step through this great wilderness. During these 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you, and you have lacked nothing. So we bypassed the territory of our relatives, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. We avoided the road through the Arabah Valley that comes up from Elath and Ezion Geber. Then, as we turned north along the desert route through Moab, the Lord warned us, "Do not bother the Moabites, the descendants of Lot, or start a war with them. I have given them Ar as their property, and I will not give you any of their land." A race of giants called the Emites had once lived in the area of Ar. They were strong and numerous, as tall as the Anakites, another race of giants. But the Emites and the Anakites were also known as the Rephaites, though the Moabites called them Emites. In earlier times, the Horites had lived in Seir, but they were driven out and displaced by the descendants of Esau. Just as Israel drove out the people of Canaan when the Lord gave Israel their land. Moses continued, "Then the Lord said to us, get moving. Cross the Zered brook." So we crossed the brook. 38 years passed from the time we first left Kadesh Barnea until we finally crossed the Zered brook. By then, all the men old enough to fight in battle had died in the wilderness, as the Lord had vowed would happen. The Lord struck them down until they had all been eliminated from the community. When all the men of fighting age had died, the Lord said to me, "Today you will cross the border of Moab at Ar and enter the land of the Ammonites, the descendants of Lot, but do not bother them or start a war with them. I have given them the land of Ammon to them as their property, and I will not give you any of their land." The area was once considered the land of the Rephaites, who lived there, though among the Ammonites, called the Zamzumites. They were also as strong and as numerous as the Anakites, but the Lord destroyed them so the Ammonites could occupy their land. He had done the same for the descendants of Esau who lived in Seir, for he destroyed the Horites so they could settle there in their place. The descendants of Esau live there to this day. A similar thing happened when the Kaphtorites from Crete invaded and destroyed the Abites who lived in the villages in the area of Gaza. Moses continued, "Then the Lord said, now get moving, cross the Arnon Gorge, And look, I will hand over to you Sihon, the Amorite king, king of Heshbon, and I will give you his land. Attack him and begin to occupy the land. Beginning today, I will make people throughout the earth terrified because of you. When they hear reports about you, they will tremble with dread and fear. Moses continued, from the wilderness of Cardemoth, I sent ambassadors to King Sihon of Heshbon with this proposal of peace. Let us travel through your land, and we will stay on the main road and won't turn off into the fields on either side. Sell us food to eat and water to drink, and we will pay for it. All we want is permission to pass through your land. The descendants of Esau who live in Seir allowed us to go through their country, and so did Moabites who live in Ar. Let us pass through until we cross the Jordan into the land the Lord has given us. But King Sihon of Heshbon refused to allow us to pass through, because the Lord your God made Sihon stubborn and defiant so he could help you defeat him. And he has now done. Then the Lord said to me, look, I have begun to hand King Sihon and his land over to you. Begin now to conquer and occupy his land. Then King Sihon declared war on us and mobilized his forces at Jahaz. But the Lord our God handed him over to us, and we crushed him, his sons, and all his people. We conquered all his towns and completely destroyed everyone, men, women, and children. Not a single person was spared. We took all the livestock as plunder for ourselves, along with anything of value from the towns we ransacked. Then the Lord our God also helped us conquer Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, and the town in the gorge and the whole area as far as Gilead. No towns had walls too strong for us. However, we avoided the land of Ammonites, along with the Jabbok River and the towns in the hill country, all the places the Lord our God had commanded us to leave alone. Next, we turned and headed for the land of Bashan, where King Og and his entire army attacked us at Edrei. But the Lord told me, do not be afraid of him, for I have given you victory over Og and his entire army, and I will give you all his land. Treat him as you treated King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon. So the Lord our God handed King Og and all his people over to us, and we killed them all. Not a single person survived. We conquered all 60 of his towns, the entire Argob region in his kingdom of Bashan. Not a single town escaped our conquest. These towns were fortified with high walls and barred gates. We also took many unwalled villages at the same time. We completely destroyed the kingdom of Bashan, just as we had destroyed the King Sihon of Heshbon. We destroyed all the people in every town we conquered, men, women, and children alike. But we kept all the livestock for ourselves and took plunder from all the towns. So we took the land of the two Amorite kings of east of the Jordan River, all the way from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is called Sirion by the Sidonians, and the Amorites called them Sinir. We had now conquered all the cities on the plateau and all Gilead and Bashan, as far as the town of Salcah and Edrei, which were part of Og's kingdom in Bashan. King Og of Bashan was the last survivor of the giant Rephaites. His bed was made of iron and was more than 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. It can still be seen in the Ammonite city of Rabbah. When we took possession of this land, I gave the tribes of Reuben and Gad the territory beyond Aroer along the Arnon Gorge, plus half of the hill country of Gilead with its towns. Then I gave the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, Og's former kingdom, to the half-tribe of Manasseh. This entire Argob region of Bashan used to be known as the land of the Rephaites. Yair, a leader from the tribe of Manasseh, conquered the whole Argob region of Bashan, all the way to the border of the Gershurites and the Mashikites. Yair named this region after himself, calling it the towns of Yair, as it is still known today. I gave Gilead to the clan of Machir, but I also gave part of Gilead to the tribes of Reuben and Gad. The area I gave them extended from the middle of the Arnon Gorge in the south to the Jabbok River on the Ammonite frontier. They also received the Jordan Valley all the way from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea, with the Jordan River serving as the western boundary. To the east were the slopes of Pisgah. At that time, I gave this command to the tribes that will live east of the Jordan. Although the Lord your God has given you this land as your property, all your fighting men must cross the Jordan ahead of your Israelite relatives, armed and ready to assist them. Your wives, children, and numerous livestock, however, may stay behind in the towns I have given you. When the Lord has given security to the rest of the Israelites, as he has to you, and when they occupy the land the Lord your God is giving them across the Jordan River, Then you may all return here to the land I have given you. At the time I gave Joshua this charge, you have seen for yourself everything the Lord your God has done to these two kings. He will do the same to all the kingdoms on the west side of the Jordan. Do not be afraid of the nations there, for the Lord your God will fight for you. At that time I pleaded with the Lord and said, O sovereign Lord, you have only begun to show your greatness and the strength of your hand to me, your servant. Is there any God in heaven or on earth who can perform such great and mighty deeds as you? Please let me cross the Jordan to see the wonderful land on the other side, the beautiful hill country and the Lebanon mountains. But the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he would not listen to me. That's enough, he declared. Speak of it no more. But go up to Pisgah Peak and look over the land in every direction. Take a good look, but you may not cross the Jordan River. Instead, commission Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead the people across the Jordan. He will give them all the land you now see before you as their possession. So we stayed in the valley near Beth Peor. In chat, that is the end. Hey, welcome. In chat, that is the end of Deuteronomy 2:1-3, ending on verse 29. And let me read these chats really quickly. But I didn't realize it. Half red, half black, full expression, facts is fire. Short dress says I need to go to school with them. Oh, cool. Hey, what's up, Carolyn? I'm in so much pain. How you doing? How you doing, Heaven? What happened? Ow. Sorry, my thing was on screaming, ow. But then my finger slipped and I pressed send before I knew it was up there. Pain, 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 pain. Pain, 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 pain. So much pain. 2 days in a row. I'm kidding. I can't hurt so bad. I hope you're doing okay, Evan. That was the type pain that many times is pretty funny. I didn't mean to laugh at that, but it's just the way you typed it and the way I read it out loud. So forgive me for kind of chuckling at that. But that was our read tonight from Deuteronomy 2:1-3, ending on verse 29. Now let's get into Luke 6:12-38. One day soon afterward, Jesus went up on a mountain to pray, and he prayed to God all night. At daybreak, he called together all of his disciples and chose 12 of them to be the apostles. Here are their names: Simon, whom he named Peter; Andrew, Peter's brother; James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus, Simon, who was called Zealot, Judas, son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who later betrayed him. When it came down from the mountain, the disciples stood with Jesus on a large level area, surrounded by many of his followers and by the crowds. There were people from all over Judea and from Jerusalem, and as far north as the seacoast of Tyre and Sidon. They had come to hear him and to be healed of their diseases, and those troubled by evil spirits were healed. Everyone tried to touch him, because his healing power went out from him, and he healed everyone. Then Jesus turned to his disciples and said, God bless you who are poor, for the kingdom of God is yours. God blesses you who are hungry now, for you will be satisfied. God blesses you who weep now, for in due time you will laugh. What blessing await you when people hate you and exclude you and mock you and curse you as evil because you follow the Son of Man? When that happens, be happy. Yes, leap for joy, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. And remember, their ancestors treated the ancient prophets the same way. What sorrow awaits you who are rich, for you who have your only happiness now. What sorrow awaits you who are fat and prosperous now, for a time of awful hunger awaits you. What sorrow awaits you who laugh now, for your laughing will turn to mourning and sorrow. What sorrow awaits you who are praised by the crowds, for their ancestors also praised false prophets. But to you who are willing to listen, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who hurt you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, offer the other cheek also. If someone demands your coat, offer your shirt also. Give to anyone who asks, and when things are taken away from you, don't try to get them back. Do to others as you would like to do to you. If you only love those who love you, why should you get credit for that? Even sinners love those who love them. If you do only good to those who do good to you, why should you get credit? Even sinners do that much. And if you lend money to only those who can repay you, why should you get credit? Even sinners will lend to other sinners for a full return. Love your enemies and do good to them. Lead to them without expecting to be repaid. Then your reward from heaven will be very great, and you will truly be acting as the children of the Most High. For he is kind to those who are unthankful. For he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. You must be. Okay. For he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. I feel like that's not supposed to be there. So I'm going to read that one more time. It's kind of confusing right now. Let's read that one more time. Love your enemies and do good to them. Lend to them without expecting to be repaid. Then your reward from heaven will be very great, and you will truly be acting as the children of the Most High. For he is kind to those who are unthankful, and I feel like that's not supposed to be there. You must be compassionate, just as your Father is compassionate. Do not judge others, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn others, or it will be all come back against you. Forgive others, and you will be forgiven. Give, and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full, pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over and poured into your lap. The amount you give will determine the amount you give back. And now, chat, let's get into Psalms 67, 1 through 7. I wonder if I should file that for, for the person the author of this book, that they have a typo in here. I'm very sure that's a typo. Very sure. But let's get into Psalms 67, 1 through 7. May God be merciful and bless us. May his face smile with favor on us. May your ways be known throughout the earth, your saving power among the people everywhere. May the nations praise you, O God. Yes, may all the nations praise you. Let the world sing joy for you, because you govern the nations with justice and guide the people of the whole world. May the nations praise you, O God. Yes, may all the nations praise you. Then the earth will yield its harvest, and God, our God, will richly bless us. Yes, God will bless us, and people all over the world will fear him. And chat, let's get into Proverbs 11:27. If you search for good, you will find favor. But if you search for evil, it will find you. And now, excuse me, what you search for is what you find. What you search for is what you find. That is the clearest it's ever been when I've turned this book around to show y'all the words. We about to roast each other is a mad funny. We about to roast each other is a crazy comeback heaven. But that's the first time it's ever been that clear when I turned this book around to show y'all what the text said in the Bible. When I read the title, what you search for is what you find. So clearly, if you didn't catch that from probably coming to the stream this many times, right? I feel like this is one we should pay attention to. What you search for is what you find. So if you're finding something that you don't like, that means you're searching for stuff you don't like. Now, but let's get into our read though. What you search for is what you find. When we search for good things, people and God notice. It brings favor. It may not be easy, but other than the struggle, there is no downside in searching for good. If you do the opposite, very quickly you are overcome with temptation and succumb to the evil you have been looking for. If we are trapped in something evil, even more evil will come our way. Only when we avoid evil can we find good. Today is a good day to stop searching for evil and start searching for good. Let's read it one more time, just so we can really bring that in. What you search for is what you find. When we search for good things, people and God notice. It brings favor. It may not be easy, but other than the struggle, there is no downside in searching for good. If you do the opposite, very quickly you are overcome with temptation and succumb to the evil for what you have been looking for. If we are trapped in something evil, even more evil will come our way. Only when we avoid evil can we find good. Today is a good day to stop searching for evil and start searching for good. I got to ask for wisdom and clarity before I speak. Give me 1 second. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not backing down. I'm not afraid of what you said. let's ask for wisdom and clarity because y'all are tripping. Okay. It's perfect. It always works out perfectly. It's the reason. Okay, let's read this one more time. What you search for is what you find. When we search for good things, good people and God notice, it brings favor. So I'm gonna stop there. We don't really need to keep reading any further. When we search for good things, people and God notice, it brings favor. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this now that I've asked for the clarity and the wisdom, right? So, um, any other things I ask for, I always ask for some things. It's pretty funny, but okay, so you can very easily, right? Because I'm using this example because we all have minds, right? Every single one of us has a mind. If you're a human, honestly, I think dogs and other things also have minds too. I mean, the more and more I come around to it, the more and more I'm believing that they also have minds too, and not just instincts, but minds too, right? But um, we all have minds, right? So, and to read this, what you search for is what you find, right? So in your head, right? Um, and I feel like this is great for today, and it's great for me, but it's also great to share, right? Um, you can have good or bad thoughts inside your head, right? But what you search out inside your mind is what you'll find, right? So what you search out if from this passage here is what you'll find, right? But if you pay more attention to the negative thoughts in your head, then you'll find more negative thoughts. That negative thought will become louder because you're focusing on a negative thought, right? But if you focus on the good thoughts, right? Then the good thoughts then begin to outweigh the negative thoughts, and then the negative thoughts get drowned out. They no longer exist. They only exist when you start to go back into listening to negative thoughts again, right? And this is a great for here, right? If you look for the good inside yourself, right, then feelings that arise that don't benefit you, like harping on negative things. What's up, basketball? Uh, yeah, for the money. This y'all are talking crazy in here. But um, but if you look for those good things, right? Those good aspects about yourself, the life around you, and the life inside of you, right? Then you don't have to listen to those thoughts that don't serve you anymore, right? You don't have to listen to things that no longer serve you anymore because you won't come in contact with those things anymore because they no longer exist, right? Once you start to focus, what you search for is what you find. When we search for the good things, people and God notice, it brings favor. So when you search for the good, when you ignore the obvious, when is the basketball stream? Maybe later, bro, because I gotta stay up till 12 o'clock. I gotta work tonight at 12. So I don't know. I gotta work tonight at 12 o'clock. So I'm not done. I have a something I have to do for work at 12 o'clock. So I'm gonna be up pretty late. Not gonna hold you. Gonna be up pretty late tonight. It's a Saturday, so it doesn't really matter. But um, when you search for the good things in that, right? Um, you find like I'm working at 12 tonight, right? If I search for the bad things, I can be like, man, it sucks. They got me working at 12 o'clock. All this blase, right? I could look at all those negative things and it'll just fester up, make me despise the place I work, make me despise whatever. Right? It can make me feel all these things are completely unnecessary to feel, right? Or I can say it's really not that big of a deal. I'm sure I'll knock it out pretty quickly. Um, you know, it's just not it's honestly just not that big of a deal. Like sometimes you gotta take care of business, right? Sometimes it's at an inconvenient time, but you still gotta take care of business. You feel me? It's just business. Take care of business. You can go back to, you know, whatever you were doing before. You feel me? It don't usually doesn't last that long. The same thing, the same way with if you're feeling bad about something, right? You'll usually only feel bad as long as you allow yourself to keep feeling bad about it, right? So is the sooner you believe, the sooner you realize that you don't have to keep feeling bad about that thing, you usually stop feeling bad about it, right? The same way when you don't want to do something, but then you actually get it done, then you realize how easy it was to just do it in the first place, right? It's the same thing with it with this passage. What you search for is what you find. When we search for good things, people and God notice it brings favor, right? So if I harp on the fact that I got to do this work at 12 o'clock, then I'll probably put the work off until the very last minute. So I'll probably be working on it at 11 o'clock, trying to put it off as long as possible because I didn't want to do it, right? When it's already done, I don't have to get on the call until probably 11:55. You feel me? 5 minutes before the call starts because I already did all the work. I don't got to do nothing at the last minute. I don't have to be on my computer at 11 or do none of that stuff. I already took care of the work, right? Because if you don't look at it as a bad thing, then you won't put it off for so long, right? When you look, that is a moderator, I think. In fact, it is Skittles. Skittles is a mod. But if you continue to look at things as if they were negative, not good things, then you're not going to want to do those things. You're definitely not going to want to do them, right? So if unless you're just insane and you look for things that you don't want to do and then you go do those things, that I mean, unless that's how your mind works, then you're more than likely going to put off things that you don't like to do, right? Um, okay, it's okay, Skit. Hey, y'all ain't got to fight it here, bro. Y'all don't have to fight it here. Y'all have to fight it here. Exactly. You don't have to fight with them, Skit, because heaven is not. It's okay. It's okay, bro. You know, he's not gonna listen, bro. He's 10. Bro's probably like 10 years old. He's not gonna listen. It's okay. I know. Never back down. Never give up. I understand that. But you also gotta know when the fight, when a battle was as a smart battle to fight. Some battles are not worth your time. You feel me? Some battles are not worth your time. Why do you think when people come in here and they say crazy stuff, I don't argue with them? I don't argue with them when they come here and say crazy stuff because it's not worth my time. You know, it's not worth my time. You feel me? So I don't involve myself in it because it's not worth my time. It's funny. You get too amped, brother. You get too amped, brother. We gotta work on this. We gotta start doing these meditation streams. You get too amped, brother. Man, it's funny. But yes, back to our read tonight though. What you search for is what you find, right? So, Skit, this is a great one for you, brother. When look, or hey, if there's nothing in here, if it's this conversation was not going to serve you in any way, you know, look for the well, we gonna start doing it together on the channel. I have like a million different meditations to do. I figured out so many different ways to do it. You know, I would love to start sharing that on the channel for sure. But um, you'd find out that this conversation, there was no good in this conversation for you to get, so you wouldn't have involved yourself in it. You feel me? That's all that would have happened. You would have found that there would have been no good in this conversation, and there's no good reason to continue this conversation because it would not serve you in any way at all whatsoever. It won't serve you, and it's not going to serve the other person either. So might as well just not involve yourself in it. Oh man. Oh my goodness. You can't argue with a 10-year-old kid. It's not gonna work. It would never work. It's never gonna work, brother. I'm not gonna hold you. It's never gonna work. Oh man, it's funny. Oh, that's funny. But back to our read tonight though. You feel me? What you search for is what you find. When we search for good things, people and God notice it brings favor, right? Um, and when you start to notice the good things, you really stop paying any mind to when people got something negative to say, right? When you start focusing on the good things, you really stop paying it any mind at all whatsoever um, about if something or someone has something negative to say. It doesn't really matter, right? And you realize it doesn't really matter, you know, because at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself. That's your job as who you are, anyways. We talked about this before. We talked about this before though in the chat. That your job is to be you're technically the moderator of your life. If you want to think about it, you're technically the moderator of your life, right? Your job isn't really to try to control things. You're really the moderator. You know, you like be like, this is not. I'd watch this, or I'd watch that, or I wouldn't watch this, or I don't partake in this. You're technically the moderator because you don't really know how anything else works. So you're technically the moderator, right? You're like the person who keeps out the junk, pretty much. That's technically your job as who you are, is to keep out the junk. The junk that doesn't serve you, you keep out the junk. And that's your only job. Everything else is not your job. But we as humans and we as people with our first names believe we are much more than that aspect of it. But your only thing that you do here is to keep out the junk. That's your only job, is to keep out the junk. Um, you know, is to keep out the junk. Y'all got to keep out the junk. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all bringing the junk into my chat. You're bringing the junk into my chat. We gotta keep out the junk. You feel me? Y'all gonna stop arguing in the chat. Y'all been arguing a lot lately, and I have not been saying nothing about it. But y'all been arguing a lot lately. You feel me? No junk in the chat. No arguments in the chat. Stay out of this is crazy. No arguments in the chat. You know? Um, and so I'm gonna be the big mod here. I'm gonna be the big mod here, right, of the chat. Hey, no arguments in the chat. We don't do that here. I don't like unnecessary arguments. I don't like unnecessary arguments. Oh man, it's funny. Hey, we gotta, you know, we gotta nip it in the bud early because we don't want it to grow roots. We gotta nip it in the bud early because we don't want it to grow roots. You feel me? So, and now let's wrap up today. I'm just a chill guy, basketball. I see you. You haven't overly involved yourself in none of the argument. I appreciate that. You haven't overly involved yourself in none of the argument, basketball guy. You feel me? So I appreciate that, bro. But let's get back to the word tonight. What you search for is what you find. When you search for good things, people and God notice it brings favor, right? So the next time you spend 10 minutes quiet with yourself, which will probably be the beginning of our next term, we're going to spend 10 minutes quiet. We're not going to say anything at all whatsoever. Um, and we're just going to spend 10 minutes of not saying anything. I don't even want chats in the chat. I just want 10 minutes of just straight silence. Nothing. No chatting, no nothing. Right? Um, and we're going to sit for 10 minutes of silence, and in the entire 10 minutes, we're going to look at the brighter side of everything. I don't care about what you've been through in life. I don't care about none of your trauma. I don't care about none of that. I don't want you to look towards none of that. I don't want you to keep building on top of that foundation, because that foundation will crumble under your feet. One day when life decides, you know, that it's gonna be tough, you're gonna live life, and then you're gonna reflect and be like, dang. And then you're gonna look back and think, oh man, I have every reason to be down. No, you don't. You have no reason to be down. You know why? Because you're alive. You have no reason to be down. But you feel me? And every opportunity you have to breathe is an opportunity you have to change. You feel me? Um, so we're gonna sit and be quiet for 10 minutes, and we're only gonna focus on all the good things that's happening in our life. The fact that you can walk right now, the fact that you can talk right now, the fact that you got a phone or some type of device that you're in my chat, the fact that you got food in your fridge. I don't care if it's ramen noodles, I don't care if you only got milk, I don't care if you only got water. I've only had water, milk, and ramen noodles to eat in my life. You feel me? I've only had eggs. That's why I'm so good at making breakfast. You feel me? That was the only meal I knew how to cook because I only made breakfast, right? I don't care about none of that because we all been down, and then everybody has a chance to get up. You know, everybody got a chance to get up. So we're not gonna do no more of that woe is me stuff here in my chat. I don't care. We're not doing that no more. And let's sit here for 10 minutes and chill. We're not doing that no more. We're not doing that here in this chat. We're not doing that no more. So yeah, we're gonna sit down and appreciate everything that we do have, and not worry about all the things that we don't have. Because who cares? Who cares what you don't have? I don't care, and I'm sure nobody else cares either. You know, um, like you can sit down and for 10 minutes and appreciate what you do have. You know, exactly. Exactly. These are things you can appreciate. But you know, you know, you can take a little further than that. But you know, you're gonna appreciate the things that you do have for 10 minutes of your entire day. It's 24 hours it's a 24 hours in a whole day, right? Day and night included, right? And I'm sure you can spend 10 minutes, you know, sitting down and appreciating what you do have, for sure. Because I'm sure you got enough. I'm sure you have enough things that you can sit down and say thank you for things for 10 minutes. You for sure can. So yeah, I'm deading any more of that. God is great facts. God is good as God is great. I'm deading any more conversation about negativity in my chat about what people don't have, you know, what people have been through. Now I need you to focus on the fact that you are alive today, the fact that you still have a chance to make a change, the fact that your life is your life, and the fact that if you make a decision and you put goals in front of you, you can achieve those goals and those decisions. That's the only way I live, and that's the only way I'm allowed people to be in my space. That's the only way I'm allowing anybody to be in my space. I don't care how big I want to be on YouTube. I don't care about none of that. That's the only way I'm allowing people in my space. So yes. Hey, what's up, Ben, bro? What's up, Ben? Welcome to the chat, bro. And now we search for the good, right? So I'm gonna name off 5 things right now that are good in my life that I want to say thank you for right now, right? And I hope you name off 5 things that you want to say thank you for, right? 5 things that I can say thank you for, and I got a computer right here, so I want to say thank you for my computer. I want to say thank you for waking up today. I want to say thank you that I got both my legs. I want to say thank you that I got both my arms. I want to say thank you I got my mouth. I want to say thank you I got my voice. I want to say thank you that I have a fully able body, that I can do anything I want to do physically with my body that I want to do. I'm gonna say thank you for my amazing job. I want to say thank you for being able to afford these things that I'm able to afford. I want to say thank you for all my books because they give me wisdom and clarity. I want to say thank you for this big book here. I want to thank you for the ability to read this thing 84 days in a row. Um, and I want to say thank you for the ability to read this thing 365 days in a row. Um, I want to say thank you for my family. I want to say thank you for my wife. I want to say thank you for my friends. I want to say thank you for the community. Um, I want to say thank you for any anxiety that we may have. Anxiety is just a way to show you that you care about something. Um, so even thank you for that, right? Um, I want to say thank you for the growth that I experienced while doing this. I want to say thank you for the changes I decided to make while doing this. I want to say thank you for um, my progressive way of thinking. Um, I want to say thank you for the growth mindset that you blessed me with. I want to say thank you for um, being able to play basketball, right? Being able to put buckets, being able to get buckets, being able to cross up people in the gym, being able to turn around and hit step back 363s without looking at the basket. I want to say thank you for being able to hit them weights in the gym. Thank you for making my muscles strong enough that I can hit the weights, max out, and do a burnout, and then climb back up. Just figured I could do that recently. You feel me? How do you become mod? And you got to show up. You have to get a 90% average in the chat to become a mod. You feel me? Hey, what's up, Jet? What's up, Jordan, bro? Welcome to the chat, bro. You have to get a 90% average of attendance from the first that you show up in the chat to when you actually apply for mod. You have to have a 90% 90% rating. Basketball, you've been here quite consistently since you've joined the chat. I want to let you know how the point system works. So you gain 2 points when you make streams, but you lose 3 points when you miss streams. That's the only way the math works out properly. To get y'all to an actual 90 grade point average, technically. I feel like you've only missed 2 or 3 streams since you've been here in the chat, so that would minus you about 9ish points. Uh, from between like 9 and 12 points, I feel like you've only missed about around between 2 and 4 streams. So you either in an 88 or a 91. I have to go back and check. Thank you, man. On my hair, my money, my dog, my PC facts. These are all things to be thankful for. You feel me? starting from when you first started joining to the streams is when I do it. So when I first see your name, I start to tally up when you miss and when you make streams. Mentally, I start to tally up when I see y'all in the chat, and that's how I keep track of it. I really tally up the missed days because it's easier to do the subtraction from the missed days. Uh, Bet, bet. Hey, thank you for the emote click thing. I don't really know what that does, but I think it's pretty cool when I see it flash on the side of the screen. Um, but I really want to from today forward. You feel me? For this to be like a more, you know, I don't mind like us having conversations that like help our community members, but I don't want to be that the only thing we talk about in the community. I want to talk about y'all successes in the community. I want to talk about the positive things y'all are doing in your life. You feel me? I want to talk about the things that y'all decided to change if you wanted to do something better. That's the type of stuff I want to talk about because that's what I think about. So, um, one thing Mr. Core forgot is as top mod, I get to judge you as well, right, Mr. Core? That's pretty funny. Hey, listen, we should do like with the mods, the people who are mod, um, like a judge off for like people who are applying to be mods. It's pretty funny, but we'll see. I'll think about that. I'll think about that. You feel me? I'll think about that. I got to like it, bro. That's funny. I'll pay. I appreciate that. That's pretty funny. Uh, yeah, but I just want this to be like a more all around, more positive place for the community. You feel me? I want this to be a more success story type of place to be at. I like you post BDW. It's pretty funny. Um, that's what I aspire for this community to really be, for sure. But okay, but I do want to say thank y'all for joining me tonight. This has been about 45 minutes. Turn on all notifications, and that's the only way to do it. Basketball. That's the only way to do it. All notifications. You feel me? You gotta have that bell turned on for everything, for everything. Oh man. Um, but I'm gonna go spend some more time with the wife because she just got back home. I've been missing her. She be going all week. You feel me? She been on all week. Keep that limitless core facts. And let's hit this outro. If you want to say it with me and you know the words, you might as well. We all got that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for joining me. And basketball will become a mod immediately as soon as I can verify that he is a 90% average. I have to verify that he is a 90% average in the chat. Um, but thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. I said it twice because I mean it. But y'all have a great one. And thank you. This is day 84. Stay tuned for day 85. 85 days in a row. Tomorrow in the chat. And we will be back on the court. I promise we will be back on the court. But we're doing what first? 10-minute meditation first. So get ready for the 10-minute meditation. Stay tuned. Peace. Y'all have a great night. Happy Saturday. You just checked. It's crazy. You just checked. You know you didn't. I have to go watch a film. I gotta go pull up the tapes of how many lives. So you have to. So the 90% average is from when you first joined the stream and did your first chats. When I noticed you first started chatting in the stream, from that day forward, I do the tally of your attendance and your non-attendance, pretty much your absence and your absences from the streams. And I subtract 3 points per absence from the 100, right? You start off with 100 and then you subtract 3 points per, and then I do the math from there. But you lose 3 points per mystery. But we're out though. Thank you for joining me. I just explained that again. 3 point jump. You get 2 points for making it and you lose 3 points for missing it. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how the math works. That's how the math works for that one. So you feel me? So you got to make the streams. You have to have on all post notifications for everything. For everything. Um, but thank y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all Saturday, and I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Peace.